today you're going to hear about from Rich and Dave here about how to monitor and reduce your carbon footprint, which is, top of a lot of companies.
We at Productive, we just love helping people unlock the value in the organization, unlock the value in their people, unlock potential. We work with many different sectors.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name's David Watts. I'm the Divisional Check Manager for Swish Building Products, which is part of the Epwin Group, which we'll cover in a minute. I look after around 90 sites around the UK. And when we get into it, Smartsheet is becoming valuable to assist me in doing my job and all the different businesses that I look after, because I go from Cornwall to Aberdeen. So Swish is part of the Epwin Group. Epwin Group has a turnover of 350 million in the last financial results.
Let's just come up quick understand, for people who are less familiar with this topic, can you just give us a bit of overview of why this is important? What is the difference between carbon neutral, net zero, and then kind of what you guys are doing about it? Again, it's not an education in this, so guys, don't worry, we're not going too deep, but it's good context for everyone. So Dave, give us a quick overview, really, in terms of why is this important?
Yeah, so from a sustainability point of view, any company in the UK, if you're a public listed company, you actually have to put part of your financial accounts for the year has to talk about sustainability. So you have to present your scope 1 and scope 2 emissions, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Also, it's getting to the stage now that if you're looking for investment into your business, quite often these people will want to know what your sustainability, and now quite often loans and money is linked to your sustainability performance. So the better you do, the better the interest rate is. So from a business point of view, it's where you're going. And also customers are getting really interested in the green, the damaging the planet. How green? So why should I use your product? So when they're buying products now, if it's more green, they're more likely to buy it.
Thank you. And you say, and it's the right thing to do. Yeah. So just if you just help people understand briefly CO2 neutral, net zero, because this will then takes us onto the scoping piece as well.
Yeah, so net zero, so in the UK, the target is for the country to be net zero by 2050. So net zero includes everything you do. So it's from the cradle to the grave. So from a business, whilst net zero is the target, from a business, the first thing you need to do is to get carbon neutral, because CO2 carbon neutral is what you can do and what you affect. So as a business, it's getting to carbon neutral, because if you get to carbon neutral and your customers and your suppliers get to carbon neutral, you'll all be net zero. I hope that explained it.
Good. That's good enough. And Dave, and I think the piece really that you're coming on to, and why we're showing this slide and what we'll show in a moment, is I think what you're saying is what you can affect. We all have to start making a change. And I think in an organization such as yours, you can't affect everything in the supply chain, but it's what you can do and what differences you're making. So just help people understand who are less familiar, scope 1, 2, 3.
And therefore, so from a reporting point of view, currently in the UK, you have to report your scope 1 and scope 2 activities. So your scope 1 activities are basically any fossil fuels that you burn to operate your business. Air conditioning units, which obviously have refrigerants, which also all have a CO2, a carbon content. Okay, and then obviously mainly electricity, and then it's the power you use to actually operate your business, and that's scope 2. So in scope 3, there are actually 15 parts, but it includes everything, all your suppliers, even if you buy some new product. So if you buy a new machine, that will have a carbon footprint. And so the only part 3s we tend to look at will be things like water, waste, which we can affect. So the ones for suppliers, then you need to work with your suppliers to get their CO2 levels down. So we actually read our readings. So we check our electricity, our heating, oil, our gas readings on a weekly basis. Okay, and we then monitor that, and we'll show you a slide later with that. And then all those that data then is fed in. So using the formulas and the factors which we're going to demonstrate later in the tour, you can actually see from the things that we measure in scope 1 and scope 3, we can see where our main carbon is. So they're pretty even, but the main one is in scope 1.
Who's this relevant to?
So it's relevant to the business. So as a business, as a management team, we look at this because when we're making decisions on where to invest, we use this data to say, so when somebody says, why are you wanting to spend X thousand pounds on a new forklift truck which is electric? Because it will reduce our carbon by X.
The bit here is this now integrates it into your everyday work, and therefore this enables, rather than having a separate system that you log into to say, well, let's now talk about sustainability, let's switch this.
We use this as part of our management meetings, about our review meetings, and it enables us to just press a button and take us to the next screen. So on this, you can see, you can go to our carbon footprint, you can go to environmental plans, you can look at the management review. Also, it even should take you to the weekly readings or something. So one of my team actually goes with a tablet, goes round and takes the readings and puts them in the form, and it automatically uploads and updates this and it's live. The section on top where it says 9, those goes linked to the sections of ISO management systems. Okay, so this is the one about performance evaluation. So on this is how we do it. So it has a links to the quality dashboard, the health and safety dashboard, the environment and energy, and include that if we go into environmental performance, it would then also show us those CO2 reports, and we do that in a minute. We also do our internal audits on Smartsheet.
But what was the enablement process like in terms of getting it, or the adoption and enablement process? What did that look like for getting this rolled out across Swish?
People want to do things easily. Now, the good thing about Smartsheet, you can give them a form. You can give them a report, so you can restrict what data they can put it in and in which format. And it made the job easier for them. You know, trying to figure out where in the process a particular customer complaint was a nightmare. So we wanted a system that would talk to our ERP system. It then gets put into the system, okay? And then when anything's put into the system, we actually have a data validation. So one of the other benefits with Data Shutter, every day it sends all the invoice information, any complaints, if there's any new customers, any new products into Smartsheets, which then using Data Sheet updates all the sheets. So it's always live.
Then this information goes into Power BI, but this is all within the Smartsheet dashboard. So kind of the message we're saying here is you can manage and track your carbon footprint, the CO2, and then this all comes into the one system. You're getting rid of the paper. Everyone's using one common platform system where the management can drill down at different bits. And then this bit, which again, you know, I know some people on the call were keen to see this bit as well, is if it dive into here. I'm going to go across, and this is a template set that people will be able to get afterwards. So let me move across to.
So when you need to look at your carbon footprint, you look at your scope 1, scope 2s, and scope 3s. So you then would identify what your scopes are by going through these conversion factors. And then once you've identified them, you would then need to go and collect the data for the year.
In terms of the piece here, so all the information, as Dave says, flows through. What we've got set up within this template set is based on the conversion factors for the UK and from, say, your local government. So there's a link to the government website where you have the conversion factors in here. One. The other point is this is an annual measurement. So we truly hope this is going to be a useful template for you. The question you'll be saying is, well, how do I get hold of it? And this is it. So we do have one, either scan that code. Obviously, you'll go to your mobile device where you can fill out a form. And I think, as you say, the timings, you know, what you're doing and the amount of money that you will have saved the organization from different IT platforms, how you helped unlock potential in the organization, that visibility for the business performance is absolutely phenomenal, Dave. And, you know, on behalf of everyone, really grateful for you sharing that knowledge, and I trust it's